Friends, good morning to all of you. And today I again welcome you all in this class of video lecture. And this is MA Previous English Literature. And we are taking paper 2, that is of poetry from Chaucer to Romantics. And friends, we have already done a very famous poem of John Donne, The Flea. And today we check a Valediction forbidding Mourning, another important poem by John Donne. So before I come to the poem, let us have a look on the introduction of the poem. First of all, this poem, you keep this fact in your mind that this poem was written in 1611, and this poem was written when John Donne was departing to France. So this poem has been a sort of, bidding farewell to his wife, and the title in itself is suggestive of the theme of the poem, that is valediction. Valediction means when one bids farewell to his nearer and dearer ones, right? So this poem Donne wrote when he was leaving to France, looking to some, travels, right? And the second thing which you have to keep in your mind, that this poem has been addressed to his wife. This poem has been addressed to his wife, and what is the basic theme of the poem? Every poem has some particular theme. Every poem has some particular central thought. So, what is the central thought of the poem? The poet says to his beloved that the entire crux of love is the union of the two souls. And even when the lovers are physically departed, the love between them never comes to an end. The poet says that love refers to the union of the two lovers. And this is not only the union of the two bodies, but rather this is the union of the two souls. Right? So when the two lovers, the lover and the beloved, when they get separated, when they are departed, when they have to leave each other, then love does not come to an end. The love does not get broken. Rather, the love increases. Right? So this is the basic theme of the poem, and the poet gives a number of arguments to justify this thought. To this particular argument, he piles up a number of arguments that even when the lovers are departed, even when the lovers are separated, the love never comes to an end. I am reminded here of some of the famous Shakespearean lines, right? Love is not love, I caught. Love is not love when it alters or its alteration finds. This has been in one of the famous sonnets of Shakespeare, that love is not love when it alters. Alter means bend. That cannot be said the true love. True love is fixed. True love is firm. True love never changes, Shakespeare says. Love is not love which alters when its alteration finds, or remove with the remover's band. Looking to worldly troubles, looking to worldly problems. Many times the hurdles occur, the hurdles come. And in view of all such hurdles, if the lover and the beloved change their path, if they, if they are not faithful in their love relationship, then that love can never be said true love, right? So, the passion of love, the feeling of love has been often delineated in poetry since time immemorial. And one thing has been very much clear, one thing has been very much apparent as far as the description of love and literature is concerned, that love is always fixed. Only that fixed love could be called true love. So the same true love has been taken up in this poem, that is a valediction forbidding mourning. Love which is not getting affected by valediction. Love which is not getting affected by departure. Love which is not getting affected by separation. Even when, what is the main point of Donne here? That union, the physical union, does not matter. It is the spiritual union. It is the union of the two souls matters. So even when the lover and the beloved are separated, the love never comes to an end. And in the very first stanza, the poet says that just as virtuous people die and they never grieve over their death, just as, what is the, you see, you take up the argument, the poet keeps on giving argument after argument. He piles up a good number of arguments to justify this thought that even separation is welcomed, all troubles are welcomed, all hurdles, hindrances are welcomed as far as the question of love is concerned. Then there is no question of valediction. No lover welcomes valediction. No lover welcomes separation. But this is the course of world. These are the passages of world. Life has never been smooth, and many times we have to get departed. So in the very first stanza, I read the first stanza, then you could pick up the meaning. I quote, as virtuous men pass mildly away and whisper to their souls to go, while some of their sad friends do say, the breed goes now and some say no. What is the main thought of this very first stanza? Just as virtuous, virtuous man. Virtuous man refers to those who have a sort of balance of mind. Who are the virtuous men? Virtuous men are those who face the reality, the stern reality of life in a very balanced way. They are called the virtuous men. The devils and demons are not virtuous. The virtuous men are those who perform their worldly duties in a very perfect way. They are virtuous men. Virtuous men hold all desired human attributes. They are virtuous men. They face the realities of life silently so that they can perform their duties. They are the virtuous men. So the poet says, just as virtuous men die and they are not painful of their death and they never register such complaints that they are dying. Rather, they ask and request their friends and relatives not to weep and cry over their death. Because these people know that death is the reality of life. Separation is the reality of life. Departure is the reality of life. And they accept such realities. They accept these realities. So when they die, they do not mourn. M-O-U-R-N. They do not mourn. They do not grieve. They do not cry and weep. And simultaneously, they ask their relatives, dearer and nearer ones, not to weep and cry. Because life and death go hand in hand. Wherever there is life, there is death. This is the conscience. Which virtuous, that's why they are called virtuous. Virtuous men have this conscience of mind. They have this balanced mindset. So, what does the poet say in the very first stanza? As virtuous men pass when they die mildly, they do not make a show. You see, that's why they are called virtuous. They die, there is no mourning, there is no show off, there is no pomp and show. And you could, compare such men to men who are found nowadays, the so-called elite and aristocratic classes, where even death is celebrated in a very splendid way, in a worldly way, right? So as virtuous men pass mildly away, they pass away quietly, silently, without making any noise. And what do they say? And they ask their souls to go. This is they accept death without complaining, without to complain, to register complaints has been human nature. But these virtuous men are avoid of such human weaknesses. So while some of their friends do say, but when they die, what happens? We are surrounded by our friends and relatives and family members. So naturally, our family members cry and weep. Right? The breath goes now and some say no. So over death, family members, the friends cry and weep, and they request the person who is dying not to die. So the poet says to his wife, just as virtuous men die, so let us bid farewell to each other and not to make any noise and not to cry and weep. This is a sort of high level of thought, high level of mental level, where the realities of life are to be accepted, because they are confident about one thing. They are confident about one particular perspective, that even death cannot kill love which prevails between